I love your accent.
Thank
I have
you.
to say, I'm a connoisseur of accents. Australian accent, I think.
You're a connoisseur?
I love. There are certain accents I really like. French accent can be a very beautiful accent.
To do or to listen to?
To listen, I can't do it.
You can't do it on
No, I do like, oh, these on.
Hey, Puppy Le Pew,
That guy. I'm a silly
go.
cartoon fool.
Okay.
But Australian, I think it's a sexy accent. I really do.
Aw, that's really sweet. Do you watch Flight of the Conchords?
Yes, I love those guys. I love Flight of the Conchords, but I don't watch it for their sexy accent.
Sarah Winter does an awesome accent in that, and she's called Keith. I don't. My accent's all over the place. When I go back to Australia, if I talk to Australians, it gets much thicker. But I don't know. You sort of spend 18 hours a day speaking in an American accent that it becomes this kind of transatlantic thing. Yeah.
Right. But then you go back, and within a few hours, you're
right back in it.
You're right back.
It only changes because you want to be understood, really.
Right.
I think.
Well, I'm curious, in Australia, okay, it's the holiday season. I have no idea what they do in Australia about Christmas. How different
we don't have Christmas in Australia.
Yes, you must have Christmas in Australia, but how? You can't fool me.
No.
I know there's Christmas, but I know that when you get to other countries, they do weird things on Christmas that always seem strange to me.
Well, they're only weird because you don't do them.
No.
I don't know what...
No, America's right.
Yeah, that's
And other countries are weird.
Yeah. Well,
you'll be in Belgium and they'll say, for Christmas we put out half an apple for Santa, and then he leaves us a peanut. And you're like, great, Belgium.
Yeah, in Australia we just put out beer like that.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Beer for Santa Claus, and then my poor mum kept, like, please not the carrots for the reindeer.
Oh, you would leave carrots for the reindeer? No, we leave cocoa or cookies and milk. You leave carrots for the reindeer?
Well, we used to sometimes, and beer, for Santa Claus. But Santa Claus, who's in board shorts and rides, white kangaroos.
Does he really? He wears wraparound shades, and he's like, g'day!
He's extremely cool, with like a stubby cooler that, with the jingle bells on it.
That's fantastic. I like your Santa better than our Santa.
Our Santa's not bad.
Your Santa's kick-ass.
Yeah.
And what about, like, traditions like, obviously it's hot in Australia. You don't have, like, stockings by a fireplace, do you?
No, but I don't know if that's just... my mum's like, I don't know if that was because we just didn't have stockings, but we'd always put pillowcases up at the end of our beds, like, and Santa would... Which is creepy when you think about it. Santa would then crawl into our bedrooms and then put the presents under our bed while we were sleeping. God bless my mother.
Yeah.
But my mother...
But that's so weird. Like, he's... it's not that creepy. It's Santa. He's allowed to come in and put some stuff in.
But he's boozed at this point. From
that's right. You gave him a few beers. You're like, come on into the bedroom.
I'm amazed that,
He's like, that's not an olive. This is an olive. I always go back to that one quote. I apologize.
That's okay. My mum, sorry, I think this is so sweet. Mum will love it. My mother was a single mum, and so we would leave a note for Santa with the beer, and then Mum would often write, and I didn't know it was Mum at the time, Santa would write, hey, who's the hot chick, in the...
Oh, your mom would do that? That's fantastic.
I know, and I think of the poor darling, like, assembling trampolines
Good for your mom,
by herself and getting the giggles with
Right. And you're like, that horny Santa. I want to ask you a question. You have lived at different times in Australia, the United States, and Canada. And you are single. Tell us, could you see a difference when you're dating in the approach of men, say, in these different countries? American men versus Australian versus Canadians?
Australian men are, it's a cliche because Australian men are just blunt, and I think that there's just not, I don't know, you meet them for a beer, if you like each other, then it's on. That's kind of how it works.
Doesn't sound like there's no dancing around.
There's no dancing, and then, I think Americans tend to, they're very upfront. They're like, hey, I'd love to take you for a dinner, but you don't know how many people they're taking, to dinner. And
you don't know if it's a date or if there's a lot of people.
And it's all and then, I don't know, I find Canadians, you have to just, they're shy. You have to rock up. Hi, I'm Anna. Can I give you my number? Which I've done.
You do that?
Oh, I've done that a couple of times.
My face would fall off if you did that to me. Seriously. If I love my wife.
Well, maybe that's why
I'm saying if you walked up and were like, hey, I'm Anna, I want your number, I would turn into a mist. I would turn into an orange mist and just disappear. That would freak me out.
No, I'm not that scary. That's
you don't know me.